That's right. We are not late and Ricada today. We are on time. And we figure after yesterday, what was it, like 10 minutes late, full on Gary. We decided we had to be on time today to make it up to the wonderful viewers here on Geeks and Gamers Daily. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in to our I guess straight and on time show today. We got Ryan in the house. What's up, Ryan?
Yep, on time and heterosexual. Jeremy's
That's right.
back in his setup. He got his mic working.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the 9.9 on full display, and they're there in the
I
back.
know, I know. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I guess I'll have to go and get a different 199 so I can but I'm just a big fan of Alex Stein. That's really what this comes down to. I'm a big fan of Alex Stein, and so I'm prime time 99 today. But yeah, so we got everything working and what do you mean, Katrina? I don't love you guys. What? Why would you say something like that? We had an amazing Cobra Cast last night. By the way, congratulations to Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. 10,000 subscribers on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. That is fantastic. So happy for them. And yeah, it's good stuff. Aruda's done a great job over there on that channel, and I'm really proud of them. I know they're very happy. I know Aruda, I was really excited last night. We got him over the hump on Cobra Cast last night. So shout out to the Snake Pit for making it happen. And yeah, we're going to talk about the latest disaster from Marvel. And of course, Director X is the biggest fan of our channels. Like, and we love our fans. We love them. Like, and he's the biggest fan. I mean, he basically is our stan. And he's just really having a tough time. I didn't even know about his latest meltdown yesterday. I currently have a video that I made. Yes, I made a video that will be hopefully uploaded the next day or two here. It's being edited right now, but I made a video about Robyn in the Hood. And the next thing I know, I'm getting messages from my new editor, and he's like, "Hey, you see, he made another TikTok. You're in it." I'm like, "What? What? No." So late last night, I saw it. Ryan, you've been covering this. How excited for Robyn Hood episode, whatever, 2 or 3 are you?
Well, 3 should be coming out tomorrow. I don't know if I watched the first episode. I haven't watched the second episode. The first was not good. It was worse than I really had expected it to be, which was saying something. But apparently, a lot of people feel the same way because Robyn Hood now officially is the worst reviewed show of all time on IMDb. That's not hyperbole. That's not just being outlandish. That's a reality. It's sitting at 1.0 out of 10, which the lowest score you can give something is a 1 star on there. You can't give it 0. I didn't even know it was physically, mathematically possible for a show on there to hit 1.0, but that's exactly what it's done. And when you look through the reviews, there's a lot of people that are doing pretty detailed reviews of this thing. It's not just a review bombing or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people that have watched it. I'm sure, and I've said this from the beginning, I'm sure there's some people that gave it a 1 star that haven't seen it. In the same way, I'm sure that there's people that gave it a 10 star that haven't seen it. In fact, in Director X's own Instagram comments, someone said, I'm going to give it a perfect score just to combat the review bombing.
Hmm.
So, these things do happen. I'm not saying that every single one of them, was genuine, but I think the vast majority of them probably are. And there's even some people that said, I saw a lot of hubbub on social media. I'd never heard of this show. It sounded like it was like perfect for like my kids' age, their demographic. So we sat down and watched it to see if it was really review bombing, like this director said, and it was abysmal. So yeah, we'll
Yep.
talk a little bit about that.
Well, the thing about review bombing is you have to point to the like where's the alternative to it. So how many reviews right now have a 10 have given it like a 1 out of 10? How many?
3,000,
And how many have given it a 10 out of 10?
couple hundred.
I mean, if it's just review bombing, then where's the alternative? Where's the people? It should have 2 or 3,000 10s out of 10s as well. So it does seem like that the heavy majority of people simply just do not like it. And yeah, you can point to a few people that have probably went to it and review bombed it. But like I've said many times, and this is something that I've been saying for as long as I can remember, review bombing happens on both sides, whether it's positively or negatively, because when you invoke passion from people, they are going to express that passion. We've seen positive review bombs from people like Christopher Nolan fans, Zack Snyder fans, Quentin Tarantino fans. Is anybody going to
Dave Filoni fans?
Filoni fans. Is anybody going to dispute these things? When a director or a filmmaker has a passionate fan base, you're going to see fans go and positively review bomb. And that's just part of it. That's part of fandom. Like, I am the biggest Christopher Nolan fan you will find. Go look at the internet, the IMDb, top 100 films. You're probably going to find like 5 or 6 Christopher Nolan films in there. Now, does he have some of the greatest films ever made? Absolutely. But I would argue that some of them definitely are getting the Nolan bump from the fan base. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think The Dark Knight Rises belongs anywhere in that list, and I think it's up there. The Dark Knight Rises is one of the best reviewed movies ever from the fans. I love The Dark Knight Rises. It has massive problems, though. It absolutely does not deserve to be on any best of list of all time. But it is up there because Nolan fans positively review bombed it. It happens. It's part of it. If you didn't make a dog shit product, then people wouldn't negatively be review bombing it. That's just a reality of the situation.
Or there would be enough positive reviews to make up for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing. It's like, man, if it's all just racially motivated, it's all these racists. Weird how the racists, they're not able to affect the ratings of something like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, any Jordan Peele movie, right? It's just Robyn Hood. That must be it.
Yep. And to be clear, I'm a huge fan of Dark Knight Rises. I just acknowledge that it has massive issues that the first 2 Nolan Batmans do not have. That's just a fact. It just does. Magic knee brace, cringy acting scenes, weird situations in that movie. Still love it though. Is Dan Vask in the chat?
I don't know.
Dan Vask,
yeah.
Are you here? Why are you here?
Dan Vask for $2, which is basically 20 cents. Sorry, 40 cents.
Being very nice.
Sold my underwear. Here's the money. I believe a Brazilian real is 20 cents to the American dollar. So I believe $2 is about 40 cents. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks, Dan.
I think you could have got more.
You would think.
Could have got more. We do have a $50 super chat from Tomac.
50.
So if Director X is your stan, would he be X gonna give it to you or Xanadu?
Shout out to DMX.
Yeah, it's rough. I saw somebody said that they think Director X is actually the real MCU fan. That might be true.
That might be true. He's a big fan. Listen, how long has it been since I've done coming to you with another video, Ryan? How long? Like, it's consistently
2 years,
maybe
more
years. And it's one thing, like me and you discussed this, like, did he just go back and see a few of my old videos? But he still wouldn't.
I think he went too popular. That's what I think.
But it still wouldn't it still wouldn't really explain how he understands that was such a part of my, early internet, persona or whatever.
He's been for a year. He's had Geeks Gamers on his radar, not because of you, but because of Josiah's dumbass.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because he reacted to Josiah making a video about Robyn Hood on this channel.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's still, I think, what he's very salty about to this day. And so I imagine he's been checking in on the channel since then.
Oh, it's so funny. Listen, I'm happy you're a big fan, Director X. I'm very, very happy. And maybe he is MCU fan. Maybe he is. We shall see. But yep, we'll talk a little more about Robyn Hood later. I think we're gonna get into this Loki season 2, which appears to be a complete and total disaster on every level.
I don't know if it was on this channel or not. I think what I'm expecting is that it's gonna end up just slightly better ratings than Ahsoka, but way off season 1. That was my what my prediction was. And I think that's exactly what we have. Pretty bad. Disney came out already to announce how successful Loki season 2 is before even any third-party data came out. They've confirmed that it just barely beat Ahsoka, but the top debuting series of Disney Plus for the year was Mandalorian season 3. And if you remember back in March when those numbers came out, it was like a massive disappointment. If you remember, Mando season 3 was a huge drop off. Disney was very disappointed with the results. That is now the best they had this year, all the way back in March for Mando season 3.
Jeez, man.
So.
And it's so weird, man. Like how quickly they pissed away the goodwill of the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? It's like it's just on par with Disney, and what they've been doing. I mean, I liked parts of Mandalorian season 1. I thought I was enjoying season 2 more than season 1.
I think season
So
1's way, like, from an actual, like, plot and writing standpoint, I think it's way better than 2.
I just thought it moved slow, so slow. You know, it just took its time, and I don't know. Either way, the point being is that whether it was season 1 or season 2, they had a lot of goodwill, and they pissed it all away with their decisions off a screen with Gina Carano, with the creative decisions that they were making. And yeah, they can't sustain success. They just can't do it. They can find lightning in a bottle occasionally, but they can't sustain anything at Disney Star Wars. It's amazing. It really is. So
yeah, I think like the reaction to the end of Mando season 2, regardless of whether I thought so or not, with Luke Skywalker was a viral. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people interested in that. A lot of people loving how Luke Skywalker came back, and it did not take very long for them to erase all of that.
all of it, and then some. But what's going on with Loki season 2?
All right, let's look at this. It's been pretty clear over the past couple years that despite the mainstream media trying to cover for the MCU for a while, trying to make excuses for Marvel, even they have come around and been like, you know what? Secret Invasion was bad, but Marvel's had a lot of problems for the last few years. Like, yeah, no shit. Almost like we've been telling you that. But one show that just came out, there were some people that had hope that it could deliver the MCU the hit it desperately needs, because the first season of Loki, by far, was the MCU and Disney Plus's most watched series that they've had. If you look back at these numbers, when you compare it to the last one that came out, Secret Invasion, Loki, 2.5 million households when you look at these Samba TV numbers. Far and away the biggest that they've seen. Whether you look at minutes watched, whether you look at Samba TV, all the ratings kind of agreed that Loki was the biggest hit that Marvel's seen when it comes to these Disney Plus series. Unfortunately, it looks like over the past 2 years, a lot of that audience has fallen away. But despite that, Disney's doing their best to do damage control already for the season premiere of Loki. Loki delivers strong viewing for season 2 premiere, Disney Plus says. The streamer's touting the tune in for the opening episode of the Marvel series. The season 2 premiere of the Marvel series racked up 10.9 million views worldwide over its first 3 days plus a few hours, as defined by the industry increasing standard formula of total viewing time divided by runtime. We're going to get into exactly what that means in a second.
That's a LeBron James stat right there.
Yes, Loki's 3-day total compares well to that of Star Wars Ahsoka, which debuted in August to 14 million views, but that was over 5 days, not 3. They're saying that it's tracking slightly ahead of Ahsoka at this point in time, and they're also confirming that Loki's the second highest debut they've seen on Disney Plus, right behind The Mandalorian season 3 in March. Keep in mind, like we said, that was blasted at the time. Mandalorian season 3 was a massive disappointment. It was a huge drop-off in the ratings. It was below even that of Book of Boba Fett. Back in March, people were looking at Mando season 3 as a failure in terms of ratings. Now that's the highest viewed thing that they've had this year. That's how bad things have gotten on Disney Plus. But when you look at Loki, look at this number, 512 million minutes watched when you add up all these numbers. That is a global number, by the way, not a domestic number. Globally, 10.9 views, 512 million minutes watched. Compare that to the first episode of Loki from season 1. 731 million minutes domestically, not globally. This thing has had a massive drop off. In all likelihood, I think when we start to see some real numbers coming out, it's going to have a drop of about 50%. I think that's legitimately what we're talking about in terms of Loki season 2 versus season 1. Just with the numbers they gave us, if you assume that no one else in the world watched it, you're still looking at a massive drop off because the episode runtime is very similar, 47 minutes to 52 minutes. This is a disaster for them. And the fact that this is the second highest viewed thing they have, and it equates to what likely is a 50% drop off in audience. This is miserable for Disney Plus, for Loki, and for the MCU as a whole, and tells you how many people have walked away.
Well, and again, it does kind of give you just another little bit of piece of insight into how bad they've damaged things. Tom Hiddleston is Loki, rock star. Megastar, you know what I mean? Not Tom Hiddleston. I don't think Tom Hiddleston is a megastar, but Tom Hiddleston, he's a star. And people
in
like
that
him,
role,
but,
he's
but
a star.
in that role,
just like Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yes,
you throw
yes.
Robert Downey Jr. in Doolittle, doesn't
Yes.
necessarily mean anything, but Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is special to people.
Yes, and Tom Hiddleston is Loki. People loved Loki. They loved him. And again, I've repeated this 1,000 times, and I'll repeat again. That time he made that appearance as Loki at San Diego Comic-Con, I believe it was San Diego Comic-Con. You know what I'm talking about, where he was fully dressed up and he came out there. Man, just amazing stuff. You could feel the energy, you could feel the enthusiasm. And that's why a lot of people tuned into Loki season 1 out of curiosity, and they were a fan of Tom Hiddleston in this role. No one cares about this character anymore. No, like you have to keep up. Right now, we live in a time where there is so much news, so much information, so much entertainment out there that people are just always busy with the next thing. And the MCU it's starting to remind me of like going on a trip to Walt Disney World. You have to do so much work to keep up with the current timeline because, well, did you watch this show? Did you watch this movie? Did you watch this show and how it connects all to this to make you understand the storyline within this? People don't want to do that. You go to Walt Disney World, it's not even a damn vacation anymore. You have to put more work in to go to the parks, and there's a schedule. You have to do more work there than you do your own damn day job at this point in time. And it just doesn't work for people. Like, I don't know how intertwined, like, I remember Loki season 1. Like, what did you have to watch to understand all the stuff with Loki season 1?
Well, here's one of the problems with these Disney Plus series is that it doesn't seem like they actually have that big of an impact on things. Things happen, but at the end of the day, you kind of end up kind of back where you started. Remember Falcon and Winter Soldier? That entire season was like, okay, it's Sam coming to terms with the fact that like he's Captain America now, which we at the end of that episode, it's right where people assumed he would be after Endgame. You know what I mean? It's like these things that get dragged on for 6 to 8 episodes that don't seemingly have any big time ramifications. When you look at Loki season 1, the way it ended with Kang and all this shit, I guess you get a split second of being introduced to Kang, but we've now had like 3 different ways explained to the MCU of how the multiverse started to branch out. And none of them have tied yet directly back to the Loki series. So it's kind of like, why should you be invested in these things?
Exactly. Like they don't give you any real reason to want to. And the product's not good enough for you to stay invested either. It's one thing if the product is good, but it's not even good enough for people to keep their time and energy into this. Like for me, I mean, I'm definitely like someone that should be interested in these things, but even me, I'm like, I can't keep up with what do I have to watch now? What movie is this intertwined with? What storyline are we doing? Like it's just way too much. And of course, the general audience, they have way too many options out there to worry about keeping up with this complicated disaster known as the MCU that's not even producing good products anymore. So people are just tuning out.
And I think one of the problems with this show specifically is, and I talked about a little bit on Sunday, Loki had a perfect arc, right? The character of Loki, the reason that so many people like Tom Hiddleston as the character was because he was this character that we saw through every single phase of the MCU. And he had a total and complete character arc. And it ended in Infinity War with, might not have been the way you wanted him to go out, but he went out. There was finality to it. And he went out not changing sides again, but instead ready to try to kill Thanos for his brother, right? After doing this entire turn that we saw in Ragnarok, blah, 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 all this shit.
Yep.
To go back in Endgame, and as soon as it was in the back of my head during Endgame, and I may have even mentioned it on streams and stuff back then, I said, if we see Loki show up in some way because he gets the Tesseract and he disappears and then he just kind of gone. So if we see Loki in some way, it's really going to do damage to his character arc. And now that's what we see. We see a character who didn't actually go through all of this stuff. We have Avengers Loki, who just got stopped trying to take over the world. We have Avengers era Loki, who watched a Cliff Notes version of his life on a projector for a couple minutes and is now all of a sudden this good dude. And it just doesn't feel genuine. It feels like you're doing damage to a perfect character arc in something that was great, the MCU. And I think that's one of the reasons as well that maybe a lot of people didn't decide to tune in for this season too. Because they tuned in for season 1 and they just really didn't like what they saw. And you're taking the most successful MCU show and it looks like you've lost a lot of your audience. And the reason you can look at that is like the numbers, the Nielsen numbers for premieres do not lie. Now, once you start to get season 2s and stuff like that, it starts to get a little tricky. But 731 million minutes watched for the premiere of Loki season 1. That equates with a 52-minute runtime to about 14 million plus views. The same way Disney says views. Just domestically, not globally. That's just here in the United States. And now they're coming out and giving you the number, 10.9 million views globally over the first weekend for Loki season 2. If that tracks with the same way we've seen with Ahsoka in terms of domestic versus international, typically a 65% domestic audience compared to international split, you're talking about almost half the audience gone away. That's abysmal.
Man, I just can't believe they ended up in this position. It's amazing. And I guess keep doing it. I don't give a shit about the MCU anymore. I have just no interest whatsoever. You can give me one-offs like Guardians of the Galaxy that I can enjoy that in isolation. Because again, Guardians 3 Volume 3 just felt like it had no connection to the MCU whatsoever, which it kind of didn't in almost all ways. That's the only reason I can enjoy something like that. But all these other stupid shows, they're pushing all this nonsense. Nah.
And also, keep in mind, Loki season 1, nobody even knew. Well, some of us like had heard rumors and leaks and stuff, but they introduced female Loki in it. It was a total bait and switch. So maybe a lot of people just felt bait and switched. And now 2 years later, they're not interested in another Loki series that is really just going to be all about female Loki. Sylvie. Although I will say, I'll be up front. I think that Loki, the first episode, I think it was fine. There were some parts that were intriguing. It felt like a breath of fresh air after the kindergarten level of storytelling in Ahsoka. I think it probably should have been a 2-episode premiere because they kind of, if you missed out on this episode and started episode 2 from the season finale, season 1, you probably wouldn't feel like you missed anything. That's just the way I feel about it. I guess we'll see what they do in season 2. But the McDonald's scene at the end had me craving McDonald's and craving like 90s era McDonald's. Back when my food wasn't shit. Back when I could get double cheeseburger for $1 and stuff like that.
Just go to Culver's, man. Culver's is the best.
I can't get it for $1 there.
Doesn't matter. It's worth it. It's worth it.
There was nothing like 90s era McDonald's, dude. It was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
And that was the best
part. When they had the video game systems in there that you could go play with all these other people's dirty hands that were all over it, and you didn't give a shit. Nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody was jabbed. You know? So
man, I spent a lot of time in McDonald's little place area.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
I could run back, fucking wolf down a chicken nugget, still in my mouth as I'm running back in. I'm lucky I didn't choke to death in there.
Dude, I've talked about that. Like there's something to like all of that imagery and that creativity. Like I hate that like all these places now, like Pizza Hut looks just like a Taco Bell, and the McDonald's, they all look the same. Remember back in the day, Pizza Hut,
the hut, it was a hut.
Oh man, it was so cool.
Yeah.
It had personality. Yes, it had personality. Whenever you drove by a McDonald's or a Burger King, like it was telling you like, you need to go into this place because it's cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff in this place.
Pizza Hut's logo is based off how the buildings looked.
Yes.
It was a little fucking hut with a red roof. We got pizza in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and again, Toys R Us. You go into Toys R Us back in the day, which I guess is Toys R Us coming back. Is that what I heard?
I saw this headline that there's gonna be like 10 random stores opening or something.
I heard something
don't
about
know.
like in airports or something, which I mean, I that's not the same. Like, I need to know, is Toys R Us coming back full on?
No,
Because
they're not
that's
coming back full on.
yeah, and that, but I miss all of that. I miss going to stores that actually had personality and created imagination and had this,
Toys R Us plans to open 24 stores in 2024, plus airport and cruise ship shops.
so plus airports. So there are going to be 24. I'm assuming these are going to be like, does it say where? And does it say, are they going to be like the size of a Dollar General, or are they going to be the size of a Toys R Us? You know what I mean? Because that will be the key. Is it just going to be like a little bitty, like Dollar General sized Toys R Us? Because
I'm sure it's not going to be like it was before.
oh, man, it's so fucking depressing. I miss Toys R Us so much.
24 stores. I don't know where they're going to be.
All right, well, guess we'll see. They won't be selling many Star Wars toys, that's for sure. Bring some G.I. Joe's toys up in there. G.I. Joe toys sell like crazy, Toys R Us. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
Bob Slayer for $20. Thank you very much, Bob Slayer. Doesn't say anything. 20 pounds, actually.
Hey, thank you.
Magnum Norris for 20. Disney Plus says that Disney Plus is great. Please don't sell any more shares. We promise more representation, and commie trash will eventually become profit. Yeah. Well, ironically, listen, we talked about the whole Nelson Peltz thing yesterday. Like, just the fact that Nelson Peltz announced that this was a news story, Disney stocks started going up because people are like, wow, maybe somebody who's going to come in and make an impact and have a little bit of influence to potentially force Bob Iger's hand to make some good business changes, good business decisions at Disney. Their stock went up just because of that, which is pretty interesting.
Yep.
All right, where the fuck am I? Ministry of Wrongthink for 10. I know how Mia Khalifa became famous, but at the same time, how? Her salami nips look like they were tattooed on. I listen, the irony for the whole Mia Khalifa thing is, like, if she was there right now, if she just decided to take a tour of the Gaza Strip, she would immediately be executed. Like, it doesn't get much more haram than Mia Khalifa. Yeah, all these people out there, like LGBTQ for Palestine or whatever. Man, I've heard that, people are so excited for gay rights in Muslim countries. They're literally jumping from rooftops. They're just so excited about how many rights they have there.
I can honestly say, and this is not to act like I haven't watched other similar video. I have never seen a Mia Khalifa video. Never.
That's kind of like me and Mr. Beast video. The fact that I've never seen a Mr. Beast video,
I don't.
You've never seen a Mia Khalifa video. That's pretty crazy.
I've never seen one. Never. They've never interested me to watch Mia Khalifa. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't think that getting fucked in a hijab is gonna do you too many favors in a predominantly Muslim community.
Is Mia a singer? She's got an interesting. She's hit some high notes for sure. She's definitely hit some high notes.
Ryan's Weird Rabbit Hole for 2 says, Ryan, no. Thank you. Chikara, member for 5 months. Best we can do is on time and bisexual. Nothing straight in the 199 fellowship. Ryan, both your hair and beard are looking brown today. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes people try to claim I'm a redhead, but no, my hair is brown. My hair's brown. Disco Stew for 10. Hey, Director X, I'm going to remake Shaka Zulu and cast Taylor Swift as the main character. We still good? Jay's saggy orangutan titties for 2. Late and Glizzy's on your 6. Glizzy's on right.
Glizzy's on your 6.
Thank you. Travis World for 5, member for 5 months. Director X looked stoned as hell in all those videos. He's doing his thing, man. I don't know. Gremlin Anku for 10. Notice how X is coming after only the white reviewers saying it's shit, not the black ones saying the same thing. Can't tell me he's not race baiting.
It's what it's always about. It's always about race baiting.
Pokey for 2 says, what is Opla?
One Piece live action.
Yeah, you got to keep up on the memes here. Lily Ramsey, member for 4 months. Sorry I'm late. I was trying to look up how many letters are in AI. All you had to do is listen to the vice president.
Vice president really broke that one down, and shout out to her. I mean, she put a lot of research into that. You know what I mean? Most people don't put that type of research and dedication into something. Shout out to Kamala Harris. It's 2
Ukraine
letters,
is a
by the way.
country. Russia's a bigger country. Thunderstrike for 5. I bought some used gym equipment, and I'm going to pick it up today. Got it from some guy named Chris Benoit. No, probably works.
Probably works. Probably works.
Uncle Ramus. Hopefully it got cleaned. Uncle Ramus for 5. Guys, check out the article on Aquaman 2 on Variety. Aquaman 2 flooded with drama. Jason Momoa allegedly drunk on set. Amber Heard scenes cut.
Dude, I forgot this fucking movie's coming out. When is it coming out? December? December, is that it? When that one's coming out? I just feel like Aquaman 2 is going to be really bad. Really bad.
Yeah, this came out like 31 minutes ago. It's tough to tell how much of this shit is true or not. But yeah, this is from Variety. This isn't like we got this covered or something, right? But let's take a look at this really quick. Aquaman 2 does sound like a disaster. There have been 3 different rounds of reshoots. Nobody likes Amber Heard. The reception to the trailer was very meh at best. And keep in mind, this is a follow-up to $1 billion movie. But with the current state of the,
or 1.3, I think.
Yeah, I think a little less than 1.2, I think was the final tally.
Okay.
But we're talking about a DCEU that has had 7, 8 straight financial failures. Take out the Batman and Joker, right? Other than that, look at the movies we've seen. We've seen Birds of Prey, financial failure. Wonder Woman 1984, financial failure. The Suicide Squad, financial failure. At least for Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad, at least those had some excuses. COVID, and of course, the day and date HBO Max release. At least you can have that to fall back on, but still a box office financial failure. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, Blue Beetle, The Flash, 7 straight box office failures that are losing money. And now Aquaman 2 is the one that like finishes out the entire thing. And here we are on Variety, of all places. They got the Elon shot in there. Aquaman 2 flooded with drama. Jason Momoa allegedly drunk on set. Amber Heard scenes cut. Elon Musk's letter to WB and more.
What?
These waters are getting choppy. On the same day in mid-September that Warner Brothers dropped a trailer for its $215 million. By the way, it's significantly more than that, by the way. Remember when they told us that The Flash was only 200 million and it was actually way over 300?
Yep.
This is a bullshit number. It is way more than 215 million. Embarrassing documents from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial surfaced on Reddit, creating a new headache for the studio behind the film. Depp fans paid court fees for the release of documents from Heard's therapist, Dr. Dawn Hughes. The raw notes, scribbled on a legal pad, said that a drunk Jason Momoa dressed like Johnny Depp to... Now, I covered this when it happened. I do think it is a little in question whether those were actually validated from the court or not. I wouldn't surprise me, but it's kind of funny if it did happen, and that everybody, including James Wan, wanted her gone from the set. Jason said he wanted me fired. Jason drunk, late on set, dressing like Johnny, has all the rings too.
Wait a minute.
It's a note from her therapist.
I have not heard this story.
Yeah.
So Jason Momoa reportedly dressed up like Johnny Depp to have her kicked from Aquaman, right?
To like torment her, supposedly.
I may have to forgive Momoa for his TDS if that's true.
Like he's got the long hair, you can kind of pull it off. A rep for Momoa declined comment, but a DC spokesperson pushed back. Jason Momoa conducted him in a professional manner. He works his ass off, likes to have a beer once in a while like everyone, but doesn't show up drunk on set. And he isn't dressing like Johnny Depp. He's always dressed in that bohemian style. Heard declined to comment. Another source close to the actresses or lawyers fought the release of the therapy notes, which had been subpoenaed by Depp's attorneys. Jesus Christ. Jason Momoa wasn't the only Aquaman principal in the crosshairs. The therapy session also painted a picture of Heard feeling unsupported by the director, James Wan, and treated like a pariah because of the battle with Johnny Depp. He raised his voice at me. I can't even post about Aquaman. Made it like it was my fault. I said, I'm sorry, said Hughes' notes in reference to Juan. Nobody could take selfies with me on set given the blackout. Juan also declined comment. And yet Heard was nearly fired, sources tell Variety. We know a lot about all this shit. Ultimately, the studio never pulled the trigger because her former boyfriend, Elon Musk, has one of his litigators send a scorched earth letter to Warner Brothers threatening to burn the house down if the actress wasn't brought back for a sequel, says another source familiar with the behind-the-scenes battle.
Oh, snap.
A lot of this is source and source and source and source. I think we all kind of get that. But holy shit, what a nightmare for this movie.
This is fantastic, dude. I love it. I love it. And she deserves it. She deserves I think she's just is truly one of the most unlikable people you'll find. That's what it sounds like to me. But she's also a very hot chick who has powerful men like Elon Musk who are willing to do whatever they can. Apparently, Johnny Depp enjoyed it because he stood by her for a long time. You know, wow, what a story, man! And Aquaman 2 is gonna. I mean, I have no idea how to gauge the movie. I have no idea what to guess that it's going to make, but I do feel it's like, what did Flash ultimately make worldwide?
271 million, I think.
Jesus Christ,
Let me check.
that's bad. Aquaman will make more than that. Oh my God, that's
Are you
horrible.
sure?
I mean, I think.
Sorry, 267 million.
Jeez, man, that is. I mean, I imagine Aquaman's going to make 400 million worldwide.
What's going to make more, the Marvels or Aquaman 2?
Fuck.
Marvels comes out about a month before. Aquaman 2 does come out over Christmas. It is a Christmas release.
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that question. I think, gun to my head, if I have to choose,
both are sequels to billion-dollar movies.
Yes. I fucking don't know, man. I don't even know which way I'm leaning on this. Which way are you leaning on this? I have no idea.
I think the Marvels is going to be around 400 million.
Okay.
So really, it's a question of what do we think Aquaman's going to be at. If I was betting, I would say Aquaman 2 makes less. DC, like, just look at all the DC results. Like The Flash, Michael fucking Keaton as Batman. That's what this fucking thing was marketed as, a Michael Keaton Batman movie, and it makes $267 million worldwide. And I don't think The Flash was a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. I also don't think it was the worst thing DC's put out lately. I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller, certainly, especially in his role as The Flash. But it's not like that movie was the worst thing in the world. It wasn't good. But I don't know, dude. I'm
putting the poll in the chat. I saw some people asking for the poll. So there's a poll right there. You guys can vote. What movie makes more money, Aquaman 2 or the Marvels? I truly don't know. Like, I hate not taking an official stance on something, but I can't.
I just don't think there's any engagement in anything DC right now.
I feel like the Marvels has a better chance to make more money because the MCU, while is in decline, it's not as bad as DC.
Yeah, I think it'll make as much as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is not like that would still lose a fuck ton of money for them. That's still a massive flop and a failure. 400 million from the Marvels.
Chat's voting Aquaman 2 65% so far. I feel like because DC is in such a bad place, like if The Flash, which was again marketed as a Michael Keaton Batman movie, and Ben Affleck was in his Batman, if that can't break $300 million, I mean, because I remember thinking that I thought Flash was going to be at least a decent success. I thought it was going to make a good amount of money. I didn't think it was going to make $1 billion, but I thought it was going to do really well overall. You know what I mean?
I thought it was going to make 500 million and, be a little bit of a loss for the studio, but at least it was worth putting it out. But they didn't even, like, if they just wouldn't have marketed it at all, they would have lost less money. They spent at least $150 million marketing that thing, and they would have had to hit at least $300 million to make back the marketing budget, and they didn't do it. So, like, The Flash is a colossal failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
What the
don't
hell?
think they're gonna put as much marketing into this movie because I think they're probably already given up on it in a big way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not going to be putting Amber Heard front and center in any of that marketing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she had 1 second in the trailer. 1 fucking second of her. And it just looked like it was a really meta take on her entire relationship with Johnny Depp. Her, like, trying to smash through the window, like, of the bathroom that Johnny's hiding in, that he's cowering in. What it felt like to me, at least. But we gotta get to Director X, I think.
Director X, what's up? We know he's watching. Shout out Director X. Director X is watching right now. If you guys want to send all of your super chats directly to Director X here, just let him know how much you enjoy that he supports Geeks and Gamers. That he loves Geeks and Gamers. It's proven. He watches our shows a lot.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious if you title something like Robyn Hood, he's going to find it.
Yep.
That's just that seems to be the standard at this point in time.
He is watching right now, more than likely. He's more than likely watching right now.
Probably.
So, shout out Director X. Appreciate you, brother.
Let's get into this. From the moment it was announced that for Canadian television there would be a Robyn Hood for modern audiences. Of course, we've seen different retellings of Robyn Hood multiple times, some better than others, even some for modern audiences. But I don't know if we've ever seen one marketed this way. A race swap, gender swap, bisexual, black female Robyn Hood who leads a hip hop group of anti-authoritarians who rob from the rich to give to the poor, apparently, and film themselves committing crimes, all of these things. We never seen anything quite like this. And from the beginning, the marketing just looked really cringe. And a lot of people mocked it, made fun of it. Even here on this channel, Josiah made a video about it like a year ago. Well, it's finally here. First 2 episodes are out. It hasn't gone very well. And even though it wasn't getting very much traction, not a whole lot of people were talking about it, the creator, Director X, decided that he wanted to blame all the bad reviews on it's just review bombing from racist people out there that are review bombing it because it's a black woman, because it's a black story. Since he came out and blamed racists for review bombing this thing, it's gotten significantly worse for him. Because at that point in time, nobody was even talking about this. Nobody was talking about the reviews. Nobody was talking about it had one of the worst reviewed things we'd ever seen. Well, since that point in time, a 1.6 on IMDb. Jeremy, it's gotten a little worse.
Whew.
I did not know this was possible. I didn't know it was mathematically achievable because to me, and assuming that they're rounding down, you'd have to get to a 1.04 or below average. But here we are, Robyn with a Y Hood at a 1.0 out of 10. You can't give something a 0, by the way. The lowest you can give it's a 1. It has the lowest achievable score. This is the worst reviewed series we've seen in the history of IMDb. And I just decided, listen, I don't leave reviews on IMDb. I've never left one. I don't even think I have an account. I'm not sure. But I decided, because so many racist review bomb things on here, according to Director X, let's check out some famous black movies that we've seen recently. Black Panther, 7.3. Okay. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, 6.7. Not too bad. What about something like Nope? 6.8. What about Us? 6.8. Man, it's weird. I guess the racist missed the note. They missed the memo to go review bomb those things.
Mm-hmm.
But Robyn Hood with a 1.0. And let's look at the breakdown. 167 10-star reviews. 3,000 1-star reviews. Jeremy, this is fucking pretty embarrassing.
It really is, and you've made me want to look up the most recent Shaft 2 movie to see what that. So Shaft 2019 has a 6.4 out of 10, and that is an all-black film, black director, everything, and I loved that movie. I talk about it all the time. The critics didn't like it, so I guess the critics are racist. By Director X's like why didn't I hate the Shaft 2019 movie? Why? All black cast, black director, black culture. Why didn't I hate that movie? Because it was
Maybe
it was
it's
it was really
good.
good. It was really good. I very much enjoyed it. Fantastic. Why didn't I hate something? I mean, again, I'm just gonna have to talk about like movies I watched growing up. Boys in the Hood, Juice, Above the Rim. Why didn't I hate those movies, Ryan? Why didn't I hate all these movies? Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. A classic. Why didn't I hate these? Why didn't I have such a problem with these movies growing up? It's just nothing about racism. This is about identity politics. This is about you pandering to nonsense and using people's sexual identity to push forward a narrative. And people saw this and they rejected it on the premise alone because you're utilizing a name, a character, a historic value that people know, so you can then push your bullshit into it, because that's the only way people would have any level of interest whatsoever in an identity politics show, is if you use something that has name recognition. It's what this comes down to. But
You're setting yourself up for failure nowadays, because we're in an era where people are very sick of this. They're sick of seeing something that they know or something they've heard of just bastardized with identity politics thrown in there. Now, in this case, it's a heavy dose of it. It is a race swapped, gender swapped, bisexual Robin Hood. And every single protagonist from Maid Marian to Little John to all these characters, they're all people of color. And the villains, the sheriff and Prince John, which is his name is John Prince in this one, a real estate tycoon, a rich white man, they're white. So you're setting this entire thing up for people to inherently not like it. And then when you do things like this, you really prove that you're just going to try to make any excuse in the world. Remember, this is when he said, there's people from other countries review bombing my show. Y'all have arrived. I love how these folks see Novice Review Bomb and say VPN. Y'all play really stupid. This is the guy who suggested using a VPN to people that weren't in the country to watch it. And I think this is like super telling. I think we may be like misunderstanding Julian, Director X, when it comes to what he thinks review bombing is. I think he might be advocating the old adage, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Because remember what he told me? Okay, bud, mind your bud, pal. It's an obvious bombing, even if these peoples actually watched the show. So that sentence, even if they watched the show and gave it a 1 star, it's a review bombing, according to him. So I don't know really what that means. Maybe he's just in denial that anyone could think the show's that bad. I'm not sure. But I do know that simply him blaming racism on why it got bad reviews has caused a lot of people to get more, has caused a lot more attention to be put on this.
Yes.
And more people to give it a chance. If I go and I look through this, I want to find one very specific review right here. Pandering to the bigotry of low expectations. Okay, I saw some fuss on social media about this, and as I have 2 teenage daughters for whom this program is presumably the prime targeted demographic, I thought we should watch and see if it was, as claimed by the director, being review bombed. I'm afraid to say the first episode, in fact, the whole premise is way worse than I was expecting. And then they go into detail about all their problems with these things. When you look through these reviews, it's not black people, this show sucks. It's people going in detail on why they don't like it. And even some people that didn't know about it until Director X started complaining about review bombs on social media. This entire thing's a nightmare.
It really is. And again, man, I know he's been putting out there like, oh, you just want to have a conversation and all this stuff. And I tend to I'll always want to have a conversation with almost anyone, but I've learned the hard way not to have conversations with the creative types that are using identity politics and stuff like that. And so I'm not interested in having a conversation with somebody who's already decided that I'm a racist. Yeah, why? Why would I have a conversation with you when you've already determined that I'm a racist because I have an opinion that you don't agree with? No, that's the hard line in the sand right there. That no, I'll meme on you. I'll continue to roast you. But if you've determined that me and literally anyone else that has a different opinion, that those people all are racist, then there is no conversation to be had. There's none. There's no conversations worth having. There's no point in bringing you on this platform and giving you access to the thousands of people watching, so you can continue to just slam not only me but the audience and everything like that. No, not happening. Been
Well,
there, done that.
like, we know what the end goal of that is, right? He's take a couple comments from people in chat and be like, look at
Yes.
this is the art. Like, that's what it's all about. That's what this entire thing's about. And I get it. I get trying to get more attention for the show, because considering it debuted 29th in terms of rankings for the show on that day, couldn't even crack 500,000 viewers on a publicly available television show. Granted, it's in Canada. That's rough. When you know people like Critical Drinkers review of your show got more interaction than your show did in like 3 hours.
Yep.
Of course, you're going to do anything you can to get more eyes on it. It just has not worked out in his favor. He's trying to make excuses. I get it. But it's just abysmal. Continue making clips, continue talking about it. And I'm sure that your reputation is going to continue to be harmed by your dog shit show being seen by more people.
Listen, Robyn Hood, Robyn in the Hood has accomplished something, Ryan. I made a video about it, and it's going to be released on this channel in the next day or two. So right there, Director X, you've already done your job, because you're clearly one of my biggest fans, and you have inspired me to make a video. And so we'll be dropping that video in the next couple of days, maybe today. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the editing process is. But there you go. So great accomplishment from Director X, motivating me to make a video, which is very hard to do these days.
Disco Cobra for $50. One show I've been getting into recently is True Detective. Both Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey do a superb job in the first season. I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, but it's a great show. Not sure about the other seasons. I've heard it's a drop off after season 1, but I've heard good things. Magnum Norse, and thank you for $50 Disco
50.
Cobra. Big super chat.
Magnum Norse, Director X was put on this earth to inspire Jeremy.
I would say stick to music videos if I were him. Like, stick to music videos, man. You had a lot of success with that. Magnum Norse for 20. When does the Marvels come out? I want to see that white tank top. Dem nips can cut glass. Shout out to Director X. The actual Robyn Hood didn't steal Jordans. Don't need hops to shoot a bow, and women can't shoot bows. Yeah, I think the idea of like Robyn Hood stealing from the rich to give to the poor is kind of itself a bastardization, right? Robyn Hood stole money from the government when they were taking when they were charging people ridiculous amounts in taxes, and redistributed it back to the people who were being oppressed by the government. That's the story of Robyn Hood. But if you'd want to just think that, stealing from rich white real estate moguls is the equivalent of that story nowadays, I guess that's your prerogative. But I don't think it feels the same way to a lot of people.
You want to see a good Robyn Hood story? Robyn Hood Men in Tights. There you go. You're welcome. Greatness.
Greatness. Demi Opachi, member for 6 months. G&G should be in the credits for Robyn Hood. Maybe we will be. Thoughts on fitness with Nigel? Listen, I'm from Nottingham in the UK. This is cultural appropriation. Director X, did he ever think to come to Nottingham and ask if it's okay?
Interesting.
I like that. The building is on the corner of Sherwood and Forest. That's where the projects with Nottingham Tower is at.
Jesus,
I think it's pretty interesting. Matthew Reeves for 5. Funds for Dan's new underwear. Get him some quality ones this time.
He needs them.
What's your first thought for Canadian 5? Do you think Director X put the jalapeno and pizza episode in episode 2 just for Gary? Yeah, so in episode 2, which I've only watched the first episode, haven't watched episode 2 yet. But in episode 2, I've seen some clips where one of the protagonists, who of course gets randomly accosted by the cops for literally no reason, is talking about how he likes pineapple and jalapeno on pizza.
10 out of 10 episode for Gary.
Yeah. Really uniting the world.
Yes.
Joel Reese, member for 4 months. Robyn Hood took the huge taxes Prince John stole and gave them back to the people. Director X has an extra chromosome. Maybe. Walter Whitewalker for 5. Orlando next week. Only going to Disney for Guardians and Tron. Possibly to do both in one day. Legally blind and can get the DAS pass. I don't know anything about line passes. I don't even know if Guardians and Tron is in the same park.
It's not. It's not. I've not been on the Tron attraction. Guardians is phenomenal. Guardians is one of the best rides I've ever experienced at a theme park. I don't know if Tom's still in chat. I mean, Tom's a better person to answer those questions in terms of logistically and everything. But Guardians is at Epcot and Tron is at Magic Kingdom, and I haven't been to Magic Kingdom in forever. So, what's up, Gary? Gary's in the chat. Hail Nerdrotic.
J-Man 10. Hey, Ryan, today's my birthday. Can I get a shout out? Happy birthday. Get a new profile picture.
J-Man, happy birthday. Like how Ryan had to take a shot at the profile picture.
Just saying. Ask for attention, you're gonna get it. Just ask Director X. Celluloid for 199. Dan Vasquez gay. You're correct. XX Havoc for 5. Jeremy, have you seen the glory that is Fung Fury? If not, watch the trailer on stream. Long anticipated Kung Fury 2 drops 11/17. Did you misspell Fung Fury instead of Kung Fury? Like Kung Fu Fury?
I did see. I'll check it out. I did see, and I'm not going to play it because I don't know if it's real. There's apparently a Titanfall 3 teaser out there. Man, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Like, I have no idea what to believe. Well, yeah, apparently there's a Titanfall 3 teaser out there. I mean, I've seen it. It's not, there's no gameplay, but it's like it's hyping the worldwide reveal, which I think is supposed to happen on October 27th, which would be the 7-year anniversary of Titanfall 2. I'm not sure, but
it's probably fake. It's not like it's on a channel called the Frontier Militia.
Well, there's been a lot of clues through Apex Legends. There's a lot of clues that it looks like that there's something with Titanfall. So it does.
You've been playing a lot of Apex lately?
No, but Titanfall fans have been talking about all of the hints that's being dropped for Titanfall. Like, there's a lot of transmissions that are being dropped, and this isn't. Titanfall didn't just get fixed. Titanfall's been getting weekly updates. It's not that they just fixed it. They've been actively updating the game. So something's going on. But I am trying my best not to get my hopes up.
Tommy reviews for 10. Hail to my favorite duo next to the Mario Bros. I think I'll finally make a video on Robyn Hood, as I call it. I also met Keanu himself in passing Saturday when his band was in town. Dogstar is his band. Met Keanu Reeves. It's pretty fucking cool.
It is awesome. I swear, man, those Keanu Reeves deep fakes are some of the most, like, dude. So have you seen the video of Trump and Serena Williams, or was it Venus, whatever, that tennis video? Did you see that?
Yeah, from like 15 years ago.
I had never seen that video. Okay, I'd never seen it, and then I saw it uploaded the other day, and I thought it was deep fake. I just thought it was a deep fake because I'm like, I don't believe any fucking thing on the internet anymore. You know what I mean? But like, because I fell for the Keanu Reeves deep fake video. I'm like, man, Keanu, man, he's getting like 25 million views on his TikTok, man. He's crushing it. It's pretty cool. It looks just like him. Deep fake shit and AI shit is crazy, bro. It really is.
Callum for 5. Director X, real name is Julian Christian Letts. I highly recommend you call him that to annoy him. I mean, he puts it on his Twitter. I checked before I said that on my stream the other day. I checked to make sure on his Twitter he has his name on there. I don't know if it would annoy him or not. Tobias Nexus for 2. The fall of Blockbuster was the start of it all. I miss Blockbuster. I still to this day have a massive crate, like a plastic tub full of DVDs that I bought from Blockbuster when they were like on sale for like $3 a piece. You know, when they start unloading a lot of their shit after they've got way too big of a stockpile.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love going to those deals at Blockbuster and getting those, and I refused to get rid of them for some reason. I don't know why I still have them.
The Exalted Patriot Exalted Patriarch dropped 5 gifted memberships. Hey, Exalted Patriarch, comment. I want to highlight your profile picture. And thank you for those 5 gifties. That's the first gifties of the entire stream today, Ryan. 5 gifties right there, baby. That's what's up.
Gifties.
That's what's
Matthew
up.
Reeves for 2. Jeremy, Mia's boring. You're not missing anything. Take her for $5.
Oh, Mia Khalifa.
Take her for $5. My old childhood Toys R Us in Beaverton, Oregon, where I got my N64 and PlayStation, is now a Tesla service and delivery center now. Go figure. Captain Luffy for 5. Have you ever heard of the One Piece? I will find it become king of the pirates.
Ryan, have you?
Show.
You should watch it, Ryan.
I'm good. Jay's saggy orangutan titties for 5. 92 baby here. McDonald's used to be goated. Had a small Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments in the play place and played GameCube between matches. It was S tier Obama.
Yeah, man.
McDonald's. I mean, I still like McDonald's food, but I miss McDonald's. Back before your orders used to get fucked up all the time.
Did Ryan look annoyed when I said gifties?
I hate that. Said.
Gifties. Let's drop some more gifties in the chat.
It just sounds so fucking gay.
Gifties,
dude.
Let's go. Let's get those gifties rolling, Ryan. Come on.
Like if Krista said it, I would be like annoyed, but at least like be like I could see Krista saying that. When you say it like watching a 10-minute video of a dude getting fucked in the ass is less gay than you saying gifties. It's just weird.
Drop those gifties, baby. Let's go.
Ugh.
Let's go.
Ryan's weird rabbit hole for 2. When are you going to release Robyn in the Hood? I don't know. Elite Neo for 5. Remember when Tuesday nights were kids' night at Pizza Hut? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember like personal pan pizzas at Pizza Hut. The pizza buffets, you can still find them every once in a while. There's one up in Claremont, actually, that I occasionally go to. But pizza buffets are fucking badass.
Ryan, Desirius just dropped a gifty.
Congrats. Derek PG Beller for 199. Thoughts on Sherlock starring Benedict Cumberbatch? I haven't watched the entire Sherlock. I've caught a couple parts of it. And you know, I enjoy his depiction of him. I've always wanted the 3rd Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. Supposedly that's still in the works, but I don't know.
My StreamYards chat is frozen. Is yours frozen? StreamYards?
Yeah, you got so gay saying gifties that it eventually just fucking died. Axel Jessen for 5 calls everyone racist, then race swaps everyone but the evil white man. Yeah, okay. More like Projector X. Kevin Terrell for 5. It's not white or black, it's corporate propaganda. This never happened from the 70s to the 2000s. Our generation, 30 pluses, are just complainers. Well, I'm complaining about the show, so I don't know. But thank you, Kevin. XX Havoc for 5. Kung Fury, not furry. It's an 80s martial. Well, you put Fung, like Fung Fury. Kung Fury. It's an 80s martial arts police action film satire. Only 30 minutes. Number 2 stars Arnold and Fassbender. Check out the trailer. That sounds very interesting. Magnum Norse for 10. I've seen Director X's first movie. It was a low budget. Only had 2 girls in 1 cup. Thank you. Vault 95 Survivor for $1. Is Sound of Freedom still running in theaters worldwide, or has it been completed its run? How to do financially? Will Aquaman beat it? I think it's still running internationally. It did really well in a lot of Latin American countries.
Where's it at worldwide overall?
200. I think it's probably sitting around 240 million.
It's close to Flash.
Mm-hmm. And it cost $15 million budget for that movie.
That is crazy.
Almost no marketing.
Wow. Catherine dropped a gifty as well. Ryan is so excited with all these gifties. And Alec Baldwin's finger with a member message says, "Read my gifty, bigot." That one's for you, Ryan.
What's the gifties say? Like,
well, Alec Baldwin's fingers dropped a lot of fucking gifties over the last few months.
Well, if you gift them, I'll read them. Sir Hat for 5. You guys should read the Sherlock copy pasta about the show depicting smart people like wizardry. Okay. Gung Ho Mac, member for 9 months. I'm able to send this because of a gifty. Shout out to gifties. Gifty are the gifty that keeps on giftying. # gifty. Hey man, you thought that Geeks and Gamers, hated the LGBT community. We got a lot of fucking gays in the chat right now, apparently.
NPC person says, I'm not gay, but I love gifties. Alec Baldwin's finger. Ryan, what did he drop? How
He
many
dropped
of
it
them?
50 gifted memberships. 50 gifted memberships from Alec Baldwin's finger.
Holy shit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. 50. So the whole thing with gifties is because it sounds like 50. And I was getting so many gifted memberships that I kept it's like, so Alec Baldwin's finger drops 50 gifted memberships. Vic Whiplash drops 50 gifted. Brock drops 50. So I was like, I'm tired of saying gifted memberships. So 50 gifty. That's all it is, Ryan. It's marketing, bro. It's marketing. You okay?
Yeah, yep. I'm good. I was waiting to make sure you're done. Super Mastermind for 5. Whittle Lil Bitsy Big Boy.
I don't understand why my StreamYards is frozen.
The Exalted Patriarch for 199. Fake, gay, and gifty.
Is that an Alabama? So Alabama, and then he's got a 199 below it. Is that what it is? Because I can't highlight it in Streamlabs anymore, StreamYards. So that's awesome. Shout
For
out.
who? The person that just gave that?
The Exalted Patriarch.
It does look like Alabama 199. Yeah, looks like it.
Hell yeah, that's what's up right there. There we go. Roll Tide, baby.
Clapper of Cheeks for $5. It's not gay to want to spray hot, warm gifties all over the place.
I see a lot of people in the chat thinking Alec Baldwin's finger, who don't miss, by the way. He don't miss. Just to be clear, he don't miss. Alec Baldwin's finger in the house.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're all caught up.
And we're all caught up. Look at there. Let's see. Carrick says Gifty just sounds like one of the dwarves from Snow White. Grand Admiral Adams says, I want Ryan to take a Gifty to the face. Bobo Yogi says Alec Baldwin's finger. Thank you. Look at that. Chat going crazy for Alec Baldwin's finger. Appreciate you, brother. I hope you're doing well, man. And yeah, we will be live for Tuesday night's main event tonight, to the show that Ryan's been fired from, apparently. And Ryan just he's just had a little too much positivity for us around there. We needed to get back to the negativity on that show. So
that's true. I brought like, usually I bring streams down, but I brought that one up. So we had to stop that. We had to put a stop to it. Get back to negativity.
Stop to that. Let's see. Warwick of Legion Cast member message for 18 months, 199. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, JB says I only watched Tuesday night's main event for Ryan. Well,
sorry.
Yeah, it's over now. Guess
lost one.
JG says, where's the Geeks and Gamers drama channel? We could probably use one. Are you going to do like a Keemstar intro for that one, Ryan, if we make one?
I don't like to talk about fucking random dumbass YouTuber drama. Not super into that.
It's pretty boring for the most part.
I keep up with it. But I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah. Sir Hat for 2 says, I tweeted that copy pasta at Geeks and Gamers. Thank you, Sir Hat. Elite Neo says, I miss Ryan reading Corn Pop's super chats on Tuesday night's main event. All right. With that said, we're going to end it there. Thank you again. Thank you for the gifted memberships, the gifties. I appreciate you, Alec Baldwin's finger, as always. Man, it's amazing. Desirius dropped another gifty. Look at there. Ryan, another gifty.
I heard.
Okay, just want to make sure you were aware. That is in total 58 new members on this stream alone. Don't forget Tuesday night's main event tonight, and then we will be running some gaming. When is the Fortnite Nightmares thing start? I know that's let me see if we have an actual date. I don't know. Is anybody in the chat that can confirm that? But I know that They have the whole nightmares thing. No,
You know,
really.
usually I'm pretty like tuned into what's going on in the Fortnite community, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
quite sure. I thought it was
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
October 18th, but
yeah,
I might be wrong.
yeah. Ryan usually does have his finger of the pulse of Fortnite. So especially whenever they have like an LGBT skin that's dropping or something like that,
They
he
call
gets
it the
really excited.
gifty.
So yeah, they call it the gift. All right, so we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys. I'll see you tonight for Tuesday night's main event. Love you, chat. The 199 representing as always. Have a good day, and I'll see you
Bobo
tonight.
Yogi for $2. My birthday's today too. 10/10/71. Shit, I'm old. You are very fucking old. Happy birthday, Bobo Yogi.
I don't like being old. Do you like being old, Ryan?
I'm never gonna get old. I'm gonna die first, so I'll be all right.
He says that so confidently. Said very confidently. But yes, we do. We got 340 people over on Rumble. So thank you guys for tuning in on Rumble. Over 65,000 follows over there. So make sure you go follow us over on Rumble. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.